Hey everybody, just a heads up, this episode contains strong language and some sexual content, so listener discretion is advised. Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome back to No Repeat, a podcast where we pick 3 songs every week with no repeats and no do-overs to create a perfect playlist for every occasion life throws at you. Joining me are my co-hosts, viral illustration sensation, Tyler Reed.
That's not true at all. But thank you anyway. Swing, swing, dab. Nobody dabs anymore. I'm sorry for saying that loud.
And architecture photography phenom, Sean Evans.
That's really flattering. I really appreciate that. I mean, it's not true, but I really appreciate it.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell as well as we get ready to go down the rabbit hole of our latest challenge. Tyler, what are we reacting to this week?
This week, we're challenged to find the perfect new TikTok viral song submitted by Michael Shanks. Thanks so much, Michael.
And Tyler, if people want to submit their own challenges, dares, memes, etc. for us to react to, where can they do that?
Oof, if you want to do that, you can DM us on Instagram or Twitter, or just add us at No Repeat Pod. Just send them in whatever. You're just like our good friend Scott Hand. Just type some up and just send them in. He said, why not? And he got his on the show. But if you don't want to do that, if you're not on the socials quite as much, you can always email us at norepeatpod@gmail.com.
So this week we are talking about creating a new viral TikTok sensation, and I think we need to begin by understanding where we all are in terms of maybe our relationship to TikTok. So I should say up front, we are all millennials. We span the range of the millennial generation, I would say. Sean being towards the front end, and I'm on the back end. I'm not close to being Gen Z, but I'm... What is it, 5 years younger than you, Sean?
Yeah, probably. Thereabout.
So we aren't exactly the prime demo for TikTok.
No, not at all.
So getting this challenge was kind of fun because it made me really stop and think about like what makes something a viral TikTok. And I was trying really hard to separate it from like my early experiences of what made a viral YouTube video, because we were all pretty active in YouTube when it first got started. We were in like middle and high school at the time. So it was kind of hard in that way to like really think specifically about like TikTok as its own unique thing, because culturally it feels like an amalgam of a bunch of the stuff that we were growing up with on like YouTube and Vine and early Twitter. But that being said, I do spend a lot of time on TikTok, mostly lurking. I've posted maybe like 5 TikToks. None of them are very good, but I just wanted to like try it out to prove that I could do it. It's definitely got its own grammar, its own like way of operating, and it's a surprisingly hard app to operate from the creator side, in my opinion. But it's just so easy to sit and scroll and scroll and scroll. Like that's its greatest feature, obviously. Everybody knows that. And so that's how I spent a lot of time during quarantine. But I'm curious for you guys, what is your TikTok experience? Do you have TikTok? Do you spend a lot of time there? What would you compare it to, etc.?
I had TikTok when it first kind of came out for a couple weeks. And then there was the whole thing about how it was unsecure and owned by a different Chinese entity or something like that. I don't really know how that all panned out because it was supposed to be sold. I don't really know. I didn't pay attention to it. But I basically, after that came out and I found out it was insecure, the political scientist in me said, okay, it's time to get rid of this stuff because this is not okay. Like, and then, I don't know, don't read too deep into that because you could probably find something in my logic there that it's like, well, you're on Facebook. And the answer is, yeah, but I haven't really been active on Facebook in 10 years. So I'd have it. But then I never really returned. Like I never really got back on TikTok. And it reminds me of Vine. Like, I feel like I got on Vine, like, when it was starting to go away. Like, that was when I was really interested in it. And what was I think the last social media platform that I was active on with the exception of Instagram, which is probably dying right now. What was the one?
MySpace.
Dingo, or what was it? The kangaroo one that you could live stream your
Meerkat.
stuff? Meerkat, that's right. That was
I
the
forgot
last thing.
you were big onto Meerkat.
I was big into Meerkat. Like I don't know, it was just easy because I did drive videos. So when I was coming home from work, since I had unlimited data at the time, well, I still do. I've basically always had unlimited data on my phone. I was on Meerkat. Like I would stream my drives going home and going to work and coming home from work. And I used to go on Meerkat and watch people do their drives. Like if this is like right about the time that Uber was becoming a bigger thing. Like people would drive around in different cities and just have it on their dashboard. And I kind of had like a little rig in my car that I set up where I could there was an unobstructed view of the road from my dashboard. And I would listen to the radio, or sometimes I would talk about different things. If there was I would listen to NPR, and then I would be like, okay, point of clarification here from somebody who actually has a classical education in this. And then I would talk about it for a minute. And I did have a couple of followers. I know that you guys would hop on every once in a while, but I was doing it a lot. And sometimes it was late at night when I was getting on there too. So, but yeah, and you have some conversations on there. It was fun. I liked it. I kind of missed that one. I don't know if there's anything like that out there, but I'd be really interested in doing that.
I mean, TikTok and Instagram both have a live function, but I don't think they're as discoverable. You may actually want to look into Reddit started a live streaming thing during pandemic. It's called the Reddit Public Access Network. It's not very well used, but the stuff that people are using it for is a lot like that. It's a lot of slice of lifey type stuff.
I feel like you'd also just get on Twitch.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sean's all about doing it live.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I mean. I think I have to get into the habit of doing it and then just doing it consistently almost every day. Well, and also too, there was a thing about that, when I was driving around, it was nice to have a camera on because I knew that Meerkat, I think it kept your videos around for a little bit. So if anything ever were to happen, it kind of served as a dual purpose of having a camera on. Not that it was crazy or anything, my driving, but sometimes there'd be
But essentially like a dash cam.
Right. Sometimes there'd be funny stuff, like a deer would run across the road or something like that. And oh, okay, that's cool.
So my experience with TikTok is that Taylor sends us TikToks every single day, or every single pre-recording. We just kind of gather around and watch a few of the TikToks that he sends our way. But I mean, other than that, I have probably interacted with it the least. That being said, TikToks just sort of get funneled into every other app, which I think is sort of the ingenious part of TikTok, because people will just upload them to Twitter, and because Instagram Reels are just TikToks anyway, we see them show up there. And so my art, I feel like people definitely try to do things with drawing or illustration in some capacity on these apps, but it's just never really appealed to me, aside from just throwing up a time lapse and throwing some music on it, which is strange because I kind of like doing a little bit of animation, but I feel like it's not really the thing that I'm kind of working towards right now. So it's not really super appealed to me. It would have to be, I would want it to be me as a person doing stuff rather than anything else. But I mean, I do think that there's a lot of really fun and interesting content going on TikTok. I think just for some reason, it's just sort of another layer, or I'm already checking Twitter and Instagram pretty frequently, and I feel like I get enough TikTok content just through assimilation in that way. But for the most part, I really enjoy people that just sort of go on and they just make little songs, just kind of songs on the spot that are kind of fun, and I think that's the most entertaining part for me. Is it sort of I think Austin Archer, I think, is the person that I think I have enjoyed the most, because he does some light political commentary. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I really should dig more into it, but no, I'm not too on it.
Well, I think the thing that is, in my opinion, most genius about TikTok is kind of also the thing that everybody is concerned about with it, which is its proprietary content recommendation algorithm. It is shockingly good. I don't know if you experienced this in your brief time on it, Sean, but it seems like after a day or two on the app, it knows the kinds of things that you want.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. Like once I was on there for a couple of days, it found like some random stuff. But then, yeah, once it started finding things, it was, you really just, like you said, you're flipping through it and you can spend a lot of time on there. And it's funny. Like the thing about it is, like I always, when I was on there, I would legitimately be cracking up over and over and over again at stuff on there. It wasn't just a one-off like, okay, Instagram, you got me on my search feature.
Like there's an Onion article or whatever reductress thing that's going around that's like, woman whose front page is all lesbian TikToks is about to find out why. It's like,
yes, it's a lot of things like that. And so there's a lot of concern around both like what content is it putting in front of people, particularly young people, as well as like what choices does the parent company make in terms of what gets shown where. Particularly censorship of marginalized groups is something that's been getting them in a lot of hot water lately. But the thing that I think is most interesting about TikTok is even above that, there's kind of this like meta layer that is whatever is popular on TikTok at the moment. And then that filters down into all of these sub communities. And it's usually like a sound, because for those who don't use TikTok regularly, the idea is that you can take the sound of someone else's video and then use it as the soundtrack for yours. It was originally designed for like lip syncing music, but now it's become kind of like an auditory meme platform where I can take, you know, an offer you can't refuse scene from The Godfather and then make it a political commentary about like geopolitical relations just by taking the audio and putting different video on top of it. And it's so easy to do that then like certain clips of audio that are really easy to manipulate get reused over and over and over again and get readapted by each community on TikTok to mean different things. And you see this with things like the current one is this song from the children's TV show The Backyardigans called Into the Thick of It, which is basically about going a hike in the woods. But of course, lots of TikTok has turned this into the thick with 2 C's of it. And it becomes a very sexual song.
oh no.
So you can see how like these things grow a life of their own that is like somewhat divorced from the audio content. But it always has to be like to the beat or in some way correlated to whatever the soundtrack is.
Mm-hmm.
And so in picking a song for this week, that was kind of the direction that I was going, was like, I needed a piece of music that could be used for snappy video editing, because you used to only get a minute and they just upped it to 3, but the average length of a TikTok is about 45 seconds. So it's got to be a relatively quick moving song because you got to be able to do quick cuts. And I felt like it needed to have like a certain narrative to the music where it forces a video to take a certain path. Like it doesn't necessarily need to be about a certain thing, but it needs to be like a beginning, middle, and end structure of a song, because otherwise, if it's just like a big vibey, like the Tim Buckley song from last week, like, you know, you may get couples like posting cute videos from their vacation, but that's not going to go viral on TikTok. You really need something that it almost has to have a twist, like it turns out in it. And so that's really what I was kind of going for. I wanted a song that like you could easily take to be about one thing and then make it about a dozen different things, as long as they have like the same beginning, middle, end structure. But what about you guys? What was your criteria this week?
I wanted to find a song that you could... Sorry, because I thought about this a lot in picking my song, because I want to have I think the qualities of the TikToks that I've seen that make it really funny are... They have to have humor, so there's going to be something about it. There has to be something that's memeable, and there almost has to be, like, for me, my interpretation of TikToks is a lot of the stuff is actually taken out of context and put in a new context, for better or for worse. So I wanted to find a song that kind of gave me the ability to do all 3 of those things, and then I kind of wrote down some ideas in my journal about, like, okay, how would I TikTok this song to make it go viral, right? Because I feel like it has to have a participatory quality to it. I think about my last week's pick, how they had the 2 people together and they came on to the TikTok, and it, when one of them might have been like, Hansel and the other was Gretel or something. Just, this wasn't an example, but like, and one comes on, the other comes on, you're like, oh yeah. So like, how do I make a participatory element with that? So that's kind of what I picked, and I wanted to be relevant to what I perceive Generation Z to be listening to. I can't really like speak for them or what they're listening to. So I just looked at some top hits and found like a song that I thought would work really well for that. So, but we can get into that later.
Yeah, so I was kind of like a mix between y'all's, where I was definitely trying to find a song that had, like kind of Taylor said, kind of like a heel turn or like a reversal or like something different happening that's like snappy and has like a moment where there's like a break of some kind where you can kind of make something happen. Because I feel like a lot of TikToks are sort of like, look at this thing, now it's this thing, you know, whether that be like a clothes change or like an environment change. So like I was kind of looking for something that kind of had that kind of vibe, but I also kind of wanted something that felt, you know, like I'm not super on the platform, but I did just want to have something that I felt like resonate with like me and something that I would want to do or something that would be like fun to do people's interpretations on. So I kind of was like, this is sort of like my concept. Now you take this. So sort of like more of like a branding to it in a way. So that was kind of my angle on it. Because I feel like the one that kind of like stuck out to me the most was I remember when Blinding Lights was like a meme for like a week during the pandemic, and it was my pandemic song where everyone was doing, I don't even remember what they were even doing. It was just like a dance or whatever. But I was like, yeah, you gotta do the Blinding Lights dance. That's kind of the brain I'm kind of talking.
Yes, there is also a lot of synchronized dancing or like memed choreography in TikTok land. And I thought for a long time about doing a song that you could like invent a choreography to. The problem is I just don't, like, I'm not a good dancer.
You're not gonna do that. None of us are gonna do that.
And so I did not expect I would be able to like identify a song that would be easy to do with that, but we'll get to that in B-sides. I don't really know how to proceed from here. I mean, I guess we start talking about songs. Does anybody feel really strongly about going first?
Yeah, I just want to get mine out of the way.
He wants to get it out the way.
All right, go ahead, Sean. What do you got?
This week I chose Kiss Me More by Doja Cat.
It's lunch and gin and juice and at dinner just like dessert too. And when we French refresh, give me two. When I bite that lip, come get me two. He want lipstick, lip gloss, hickeys too. Kiss me more. We're so young, boy, we ain't got nothing to lose. It's just principle. Baby, hold me, 'cause I like the way you move. Boy, you write your name.
I found this song on the Spotify like list of hot singles or something. There are elements of the song that I like and elements of the song that I don't care for. Like, I think the guitar line is kind of cool. I think there's a lot of synth affected guitar here that sounds really cool. And I like that it's really simple. But just before I like really kind of get onto this song, I don't really like this song that much.
He doesn't like it. Okay.
The reason I want to talk about this is because I feel like there's a lot of times where we pick songs for this show that we're like, oh, I like the song and it meets the challenge. I just went to meet the challenge this time because I don't really think that you have to have a great song to make a quality TikTok challenge. In fact, sometimes the horrible stuff is probably what makes it the better TikTok-y stuff, right? So I'll just get that out of the way. I don't think that this song is a super good song at all. But I do think that it has a lot of the elements of the TikTok meme bowl thing that I really liked. So just the fact that it's called Kiss Me More, immediately I thought about the formula for my TikTok of success, which is you want to have a musical element, you want to be able for everybody to do it, and you got to have something that everybody loves. And if there's something that everybody loves, it's dog kisses. And you could just totally take it out of context because we all know what this song is about. I mean, I don't think Doja's hiding it at all. Or is it SZA?
SZA.
SZA? Okay, right. It's basically about eating pussy. Okay, like I totally get it. I'm just gonna say it is blunt on its bluntly because it's not. This song lacks subtlety, so add that into the category for why this song is not good. But so that was one. I think the next thing. I think that this song would be hilarious to a bunch of really bad kiss cam moments. Like, so it plays and it stops and there's like that awkward moment where you like the guy is pointing at the girl next to him like, that's my sister or something. I just feel like that. So like it has that comedy element. I also think, so when you watch the music video, you know how she has those like big things off the side of her head? I think it would be hilarious if everybody just started memeing a Helga from Hey Arnold meme right there. Like if this was just your favorite Hey Arnold moment to this song of Helga like doing something stupid to Arnold, that would work. Because, you know, the 90s is in right now, so everybody's got to have, oh, I love Hey Arnold, it's my favorite show. Yeah, okay, yeah. And then I kind of just wanted to play with that hair piece, that headpiece when I was talking about Helga. So maybe like someone's doing the thing and then all of a sudden something just like turns and they just have like a propeller or, you know, like anything really. So, you know, you're just like, I don't have anything on my desk. I have a stapler. So you're just like talking and then all of a sudden it's like boop and it's just something funny off the side of your head. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of potential with this song, which is...
So this is an interesting choice from you because there is a lot of use of this song already on TikTok.
Not surprising.
Which is something that I intentionally tried to avoid in my pick. I like went and looked, but it's really not like consistent. There is one dance that is done to this song, but it's not done consistently. And it's basically just like a combination like disco line dance type of maneuver. Like I would describe it as like a little bit sexier Macarena. I say that because compared to other TikTok dances, it does not seem that hard. Like a lot of the point of doing a TikTok dance challenge is that it's hard to learn.
Oh yeah, yes.
This one, the one that I'm seeing around YouTube, and I'll put a link in the show notes, it doesn't do anything for me. And I think you're right. This song has a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of potential for other things. I love the idea of like other things kissing. Like the dog kisses seems hilarious.
Right. That's what I mean. I think there's a lot of potential there for that.
Or like any kind of like turns out, right? So like it looks like you're going in for a kiss and then you're like kissing a blow up doll or something. Like, I don't know. It seems like there's something you could do. There's more that you could do with this than just this really kind of generic choreography that I'm seeing. So yeah, this song has a lot of unrealized potential. As a song itself, I agree. I think it's a little on the nose. I find the beat to be a little too repetitive. And the only part that I think is really like above average here is SZA's feature. I've never been a huge Doja fan, and even for her, this feels like a phoned-in performance. Like, it just doesn't feel like she's trying real hard here. The only part of it that feels like it has any energy are the gang vocals on the chorus, and even that is kind of childish. I guess I just expect more of my pop queens. Like, I want you to feel like you're, like, really into the song you're singing, and she just feels very, like, listless in this performance. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was honestly a little surprised that this was Sean's pick anyway, because it does sort of feel out of his typical wheelhouse. It feels like something that I would probably pick. Definitely. It's interesting that you said you're like picking it exclusively for the challenge, but I do feel like this does, I think you did come up with a funny idea. I do specifically love puppy kisses. So like we could, I think that right there, you would just call that done. Always want more puppy talk. But you're right. I think that there's always, like, I feel like the lyrics are so sort of basic and primary in a way that's kind of like, well, I mean, the chorus parts are, I feel like some of the verses are like, I don't know if puppy kisses to some of SZA's lyrics are probably not great, but like if you snip, you know, just the right part, I feel like it could be, there's definitely like a good part there. I think there's definitely a good meme waiting to be excavated.
I think it's funny that you said that, because Taylor posted that link and I watched the video, and it's hilarious that they key right in on like the verse that it like starts with, I feel like fucking something. It's like, okay, great. So we know that that you guys are totally just about having like a hot dance like machine right here. And it's not about, I don't know, this isn't a viral TikTok thing. It's just a dance TikTok. So,
well, and the thing is, like, even if it's like a thirst trap dance video, none of these are like executed as well as many of the thirst traps that we saw to other songs. Like, even Blinding Lights had better like sexy dance videos than this song has.
Yeah, because like this song is more dreamy. This isn't really like, I wouldn't call the song hot. This is sort of like a laid back groove you're just kind of chilling to.
That just happens to be about sex.
Talking about eating a lot. We eating tonight, boys.
Well, there's the
That's what
explicit tag.
That's what I mean. I think that this meme or this song hasn't hit its potential yet on the TikTok platform because this song is a thirsty song, and none of these things that I'm watching are very thirsty videos.
Yeah, it's not fully realized.
So I don't know. Do the dog thing. I think that would be cute. That's what I'm rooting for. I don't want to see this. He's got. I don't know. Take it the other direction. I don't know.
Well, speaking of taking it the other direction, I think we need a very non-sexual palate cleanser after that segment. So we'll go to my song. This week I chose "Kitty" by Presidents of the United States of America.
Kitty rap and scratch me through my jeans. Fuck you, kitty, yo, gonna spend the night. Fuck you, kitty, yo, gonna spend the night. Fuck you, kitty, yo, gonna spend the night outside. Kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot and I wanna touch it. A kitty at my foot.
It's pretty audacious of you to say non-sexual with a song like that, but okay.
He just slapped our whole audience in the face.
Look, I get that there's a double entendre, but this song is literally about a stray cat, which I think
Sure it is, bud.
it's about. There's a kitty at his foot and he wants to pet it.
It's a lady of the night.
Look, I mean, you could do a lot of you could do a lot of dumb cat stuff with this song. The intro where they're doing the unison meows, you could have if this had been 2 years ago, you could have done Cats the motion picture and had people on all fours doing the creepy meows, which would have been very good, very funny. But the part that I'm really going to zero in on is actually the third verse. It's around 2:10. Kitty rears up and scratches him through his jeans. And then there's this great pre-chorus that's, fuck you, Kitty, you're going to spend the night. Fuck you, Kitty, you're going to spend the night. And then they all scream outside.
Right.
And then they just go into the super hard version of the chorus where they're just yelling, kitty at my foot and I want to touch it. And I feel like that is your turns out. That is the there are so many reversals you can have here where you can do animal fails of cat falls off of thing or accidentally kick cat in the face. Cat is scared of vacuum. There's a lot of animal meme things you can do here. But I also think that there's a fun, maybe things you don't like meme where it's let's say we were doing it for this show. We would be the fuck you kitties would be bands we don't like. And then when it breaks and it goes to kitty at my foot and I want to touch it, it's Smashing Pumpkins. It's all these bands that sound exactly like Smashing Pumpkins that we don't like, and then it's kitty at my foot and I want to touch it, and it's Billy Corgan. I feel like there's a fun fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, not you that you could do with that reversal on that chorus. And this song is relatively old. It's from the 90s. The 90s are having a moment right now. But I'm seeing a lot of indie kid TikTok and alternative kid TikTok is starting to discover this kind of music. They're all getting into Nirvana and Green Day again. And I feel like Presidents of the United States of America is a band that people forget about, except for Peaches and the theme song from the Drew Carey Show. And even that, yeah, Cleveland Rocks, the theme song from the Drew Carey Show.
It's Ohio's unofficial song.
That's the same band.
I didn't think it was Presidents of the United States, though.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Incredible.
But those are really the only two songs anybody knows, and most people don't know that Cleveland Rocks is them. And I feel like Kitty doesn't get what it deserves because it's equally as stupid as both of those songs, and in some ways more fun to sing along to. So I feel like...
Oh my god, it is. Is it on the same album?
No, it's on their second album. Kitty's on their first album. I feel like you could do a lot of fun stuff with Kitty. It's a really, really stupid song, but I think that's kind of what TikTok is going through right now. It's in a stupid song phase with its backyardigans and all of this garbage. So let's bring the Presidents back. They were a fun band.
Yeah, I feel like TikTok is good for both discovering new things and for discovering old things. And by old things, we mean things from like our childhood, that kids that were born after we went through the 90s are like, hey, what's this weird ancient song from 1992? You're like, oh, we're ancient. No. So yeah, so this definitely falls into that camp. And you're right. It is that perfect kind of just kind of I don't want to call it dumb. I don't want to be like, dumb isn't like insulting, but I think the president of the United States of America knew what they were doing when they wrote the song. Just like I'm sure this entire album is probably like that. I will also say it's incredible that this song made it on here before Peaches did. That's all I'm gonna say, because I love Peaches. Come from a can they put there by Man and Factory Downtown. Anyway, I feel like I would have to almost see this TikTok in action before, because like you described it, I'm like, that seems fine. But I feel like, well, what kind of has to happen is like, I feel like we can only come up with so much because we're like the originators. But I feel like the remixes of it eventually will find like a really good one. Like, I feel like a meme doesn't really quite reach its peak until like a day or two later, which then immediately following that it dies. So I feel like it has this concepting on it. I feel like it's really hard to actually kind of come up with the best idea for this meme. But I do like the format of it. It's a very common format. So yeah, so I think that it in theory should work. It should go viral by tomorrow, Taylor. Send it out. But yeah, I actually do also like the song. I think it's cute.
Real-time follow-up, there have been 1,939 TikToks made with this song, which, I mean, holistically speaking, not that many, and they are all videos of cats. Oh, except for one that is a furry who dresses up as a cat. There you go. Not a direction I expected this meme to go, but
no,
it could make sense.
Okay. Yeah, I like this song too. I think President of the United States are one of those like funny bands. Like, what was it? What's the Bloodhound Gang or whatever? You remember that band?
Yeah.
And they kind of did these stupid, like dumb 90s bro rock songs. Like Foxtrot, Unicorn, Charlie, Kilo. Yeah, if you guys remember that when Bam Margera. if you're a Generation Z person and you know who that is, you don't look it up. If you know who they are right now, just write it in because I want to hear it. Well, I will fast track your challenge, whatever it is, to the top of the list. Like Bam Margera driving around in a Wienermobile, backing in and out of a highway tunnel or something. Like it was like the stupidest music that like high school dropouts in the 90s were listening to, and they're like, oh yeah, this stuff is so funny. It's so, I don't know. And then out of this probably came Tool.
Yeah, kinda.
Circa like mid-aughts, like, I don't know. But no, I think this is a great song. I feel like this would be funny for a meme, and the ideas that you had for it would be pretty good.
All right, Tyler, that just leaves you. What do you have for us?
This week, I chose Immaculate Taste by Englewood. So I feel like for this song, this song has a very easy setup, like punchline, ready to go. I feel like right at the beginning, this song is going to be clipped for the first 25 seconds, And so what I imagine is the setup is going to be, like for me, I'm like looking like a gremlin. I have like my flannel on, like my hair's like a mess. I'm sitting like a computer desk or whatever. And then the what? And then hit, and then I'm going to transform into my Mark Riboulet impersonation, just like I did when I hung out with Taylor the other week, where it's like
floral shirt, short shorts, sunglasses. He's ready to hit the beach.
Yeah. And so what's funny is that the cover of this album is called Yacht World, and Englewood has like this like boat captain look. And so I can just imagine that like the virality could be like doing the boat captain like dress up, in which I would love to just get a nice turtleneck, a nice jacket, nice blazer, turtleneck and blazer, and a nice boating hat. I think also it would be fun to just be like fall hit, like, you know, like the first warm day outside, summer baby. And you know, this also fits right in well with kind of the vibe that we're kind of going for now, is where it's like, dudes, it's time to throw out your 11-inch seam pants, your 11-inch shorts, 5-inch shorts. We're doing short shorts, baby. And so I imagine would also work for that. But yeah, I mean, this song is just a bop. I think it really benefits from its production by Englewood, which is like, it takes like a 1983 sort of like a sort of like synthy hit that he really uses the sax that's in it and really plays into it really hard, which I realize we got sax again, baby. This is a very sax forward song. You're not going to be, you know what's coming. You know what's coming. But there's something about the very modern production of like the sort of the rise, the sort of like hit, very crisp hit, and then like that sax just soars. Like you feel like you're on another level. Just it hits, and it just a great beat right underneath it, great dance beat, and it just transports me. Imagine you're hitting the boat. You know, I'm not rich, I don't have a yacht, but you know, maybe I just get transported onto one, and I'm having a great time on the surf.
So 3 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago, this would have been the successor to the Shooting Stars meme. Where the what is somebody falling down, and then the actual beat is just them falling over and over into a rainbow spiral. But now you are absolutely right. This is going to be fashion TikTok. This is going to be drag queen TikTok. This is going to be they them TikTok. And it's the I look this way. What? Now I look this way, which is very popular right now.
Yeah.
Very in. Makeup reveals, outfit reveals, all of that stuff. And honestly, I'm here for it. I love this like pandemic glow up vibe thing. And I feel like that could also be a fun version of this, is like my work from home outfit versus first night out at the club outfit. Like there's definitely some fun that you can have here with radical transitions. And that sax is also a really fun thing to meme. I could also see, oh gosh, I can't think of her name off the top of my head. I want to think it's like Kath does TikTok or something that I send you guys all the time, who does the recorder covers of pop songs.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like she could rock this song out on recorder. And then you get into like weird instrument TikTok where people are like playing songs on instruments that have no business playing them. Like I found a guy who collects mouth harps the other day who I feel like could do a fun thing with this. Like this song is definitely going places. I'm amazed that it's November 2020 that this came out and I've never heard of this, but I love it.
If there was a winner of this challenge and I had to put my coin behind it, it would be you. I feel like yours is like really topical. I love mine, but I feel like yours is actually something that was like really a 2021 thing to do. And I totally see this one playing out with your exact song, and I love the idea. Yeah, man, I'm so torn on this one. You know, because I have like my set of rules that I always evaluate Tyler songs on and no one else's. And so it's only like 1 minute and 45 minutes long, which is a huge positive for me because my time for Tyler songs is small and valuable. And then, but then he somehow managed to put in a sax in there, which I'm conflicted about, but I think it works. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead with great pick. Love this. I'm going to have to definitely check out, I'm sorry, who is the artist for this song now? It slipped my mind.
Englewood.
Does Englewood always do these like, I don't know, like electro pop things?
It's very much he's very much a producer, because really you probably don't need to like check this out specifically, but like I had to actually look it up. But the song that he referenced, like that he pulled the samples from, was a song called "Making Love" by Finis Henderson from like 1983, and it's like an artist that is like doesn't even have like a Wikipedia page. So like he pulled like a really great, super obscure like sample for this. But yeah, I mean, this is probably the most like bumpin' track of his. But I mean, it's Yacht World is a pretty good album altogether. But this is definitely like the single from it. So
all right, and with that, it's time for notable B-sides, and these were songs that were so close to getting picked but didn't quite make it. Anybody got some notable B-sides?
I have a few. My top contender, other than the one that I had, which would have absolutely been another fun meme one, was Shiza by Lady Gaga, which opens with a spoken word part where she says, "I don't speak German, but I can if you like." And then she proceeds to sing a song that is completely nonsense German. Like, it's just made up words. And I feel like that could be really fun to do things with, like, you use her audio of "I don't speak German, but I can if you like," and then it's like you doing something you have absolutely no business doing.
That could be dangerous.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I didn't use it because the Little Monster TikTok uses that song a lot just for lip syncs. And I felt like if the Gaga fandom is already using it for something, it's probably a little bit overused. Then I had Keep On Coming by Moody Man featuring CD, which has a lot of other nonsense words in it that I felt like would be fun to do choreographs to. Best Thing by Johnny I really liked, but it had been used a lot on TikTok, and it turns out Johnny is a viral TikTok star, so that wasn't going to work. And then finally, I just didn't have time to really evaluate the song, but literally 2 days ago, as we record, Matt and Kim put out a new song, which I'm pretty sure is like tailored for TikTok. It's called Rah Rah Rah, and it has this like call and response chorus of like all the people cheering just like rah rah rah, all the people singing just like la la la, and so on. And I feel like they know what they're doing. They're trying to make a TikTok sound, and that's a good genre for them to play in. I hope it works.
Let's see. Well, I kind of went right to my bank of awesomely cool, timeless 80s songs. So I really think A Flock of Seagulls, I Ran would be a really good song. And it had to be awkward for me. Like, I think it'd be really funny if you, like...
mid-conversation and then you just start running.
Right, basically is you just, like, it has that awkward moment where you, like, forget your date's name or something and you met on Tinder. And you just... you just, like, oh... and then you just run away. And I think that there's like classic bits from that kind of stuff that would be really good. Let's see. I think there's just a bunch of stuff. I don't know. That was my other really like kind of better idea. But I think you could do classic dance songs too. Just in like really awkward moments. Like you try to spontaneously start a flash mob doing the electric slide.
Yeah, that would be a good one too.
You know, like it's just... and no one ever joins in, but you continue to do the whole thing until you get like one person. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen those.
That's very early YouTube
TikToks where they, well, I feel like I've seen some ones around now where people have like a soccer ball or something, right? And they're like, kick it at people and see if they like return it and stuff. I don't know. Have you seen any of these?
No, but makes sense.
Or have you seen the pillow fight one?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like something like that, right? Where you like, Tyler, have you seen this? Okay, so basically it's a guy and he's like walking around the street and he's got like 2 or 3 pillows and he just walks up to strangers and he throws a pillow at him and he runs up to him and starts hitting him with the pillow. And I don't know if it's just because it's edited really well, but most of the people kind of like turn at him and they immediately start having this like funny pillow fight with him. Now, some people I imagine weren't part of the joke, but I mean...
you gotta have a few of those in the video, right?
Right.
You gotta have a nice gradient. I think I only had one, and that was gonna be The Snack That Smiles Back by Sean Wasabi, because I was gonna stuff my mouth full of all the things that they talk about in that song, and that was gonna be really gross and dumb.
That would also probably go viral. Tyler's reverse mukbang corner. Well, Tyler, if people want to get your fresh content, where can they do that?
Hey everybody, you can find my design and illustration work at rootpets.club, and as always, you can find me on the socials as Rootpets Club on Instagram and Twitter.
Sean, if people want to see your snapshots, where can they get to them?
You can find me on Instagram at TellySean.
And if you'd like a little bit of everything all the time, you can follow me on the socials at TC Olmstead. All of these songs will be on the official No Repeat podcast playlist. Our B-sides will be on the unofficial B-sides playlist maintained by Super Deluxe Edition podcast pal Ivan Glasgow. And we will be back next week with another episode of No Repeat.